Hey folks, it's Matt once again, and welcome back to another review. And this is of not only the movie Dog Soldiers, but the Blu-ray from Screen Factory of Dog Soldiers. Now, I've reviewed this film before, and I'm going to try to, if I remember, put my older review down below, and I'll get more in depth into the film. But I want to talk about the Blu-ray first, because the Blu-ray, at the end of the day, I'm glad I got this for free because of a deal. Uh, with another website that if I embed videos over there, like every 100 videos I embedded, the deal's gone now, so I can't do it anymore. But it was at a time if I embed my YouTube videos every 100, I could get a free Blu-ray from Amazon. And this was one of them because I'm a big fan of this movie. It's my favorite werewolf movie. I'll get to why in a bit. But this Blu-ray has a bit of controversy behind it, and I can understand why. I know it got delayed because it gets the whole deal. The biggest part is because the picture quality, and that's because this is a film that was shot in 16mm, and I guess the original negative they could not find, so they used some prints where the 16mm was blown up to 35mm. And then there's also like color changes, and the contrast is really blown out, and the blacks are really crushed. And I'll admit, I'm not the guy that talk about picture quality when I do reviews, because there's a lot of people who are much smarter, much more sophisticated, and much more eloquent in explaining picture quality. So I would say if you're curious about this, please check out reviews, screen caps, because I'll be honest, I don't know if I think this is better or if I think this DVD that I have is better. Because the picture quality in this, it looks like a Grindhouse movie. Now, there are 16mm films that I've heard are good on Blu-ray, The Evil Dead. I don't have the film on Blu-ray, but I've heard that from reviews that they did a good job with that. But I know Neil Marshall even made a statement saying that I supervised this, and they did the best job that they could, and I'm shocked that people would think that the older release is better. But when you have a picture quality, because it looks like a Grindhouse film, it kind of interests me because I remember Grindhouse. I liked seeing those trailers with all the lines and cigarette burns. Sometimes colors seem washed out, or daylight scenes sometimes looks like there was a nuclear explosion. Or I remember there being more blue filtering in this movie, and some of that blue is taken out. Not all, but some of it is taken out. Especially the scene where the soldiers are fighting the werewolves the first time after Sean Pertwee's been attacked, and they're falling back, and there's like a bluish look to it, and here it's not anymore. As some people point out, it almost looks like it's more daytime, but Neil Marshall said no, it's supposed to be dusk. But it looks more daytime in this than the older DVD and such. And like you watching it, like I said, there's cigarette burns. There are times where, what was it, about here, you see like a line. Not a black line, but a faint line. Again, reminds me of a Grindhouse movie. Like if I'm watching The Planet Terror or what is the Death Proof, or those fake trailers. And it's very grainy. Very, very grainy. Like the total opposite of Moontrap Blu-ray, which that sucked because of the picture quality. It was DNR to hell, and there was like everyone looked like a doll. Fucking. Here it's very grainy, and it's like a 70s exploitation movie. And I don't know how I personally feel about that. On one hand, I'm like, oh, this is an interesting way to see the film. On the other, it's not It's like I keep saying, like, the next time I put in the film, am I going to watch this or am I going to watch this? And I don't know. I mean, part of me wants to sell this, and I mean, I got it for free, but just keep the DVD copy for the features and sell the Blu-ray. But there's one pawn shop, they only give out $1.50, so that doesn't seem worth it. Or do you want to keep it so out of curiosity of this sort of grindhouse look? I can understand why people would be pissed off because they bought a product and they were, wait a minute, I didn't know it was going to look like this and the colors would be different. And if you look online, Dog Soldiers Blu-ray, you look up screen caps, it's hard to explain without showing the footage. But I can understand people complain about because it was a 16mm film put up to 35mm. I guess, like I said before, the original negative was lost, which I don't know how the hell it was lost. It's a fucking film from 2002, not 1972. And people go, oh, but not people online, but Stream Factory. Oh, we did the best they can, but at the same time, I don't lick Stream Factory's nuts. They don't send me anything for free. I have no problems with that. Leviathan looks fantastic on Blu-ray. There's certain movies that look great on Blu-ray that they did. Then there's some that, again, you just say they're up shit creek when they couldn't find the original negative and they had to deal with this, and then the director gave his okay. So, but I think Stream Factory maybe could have told people beforehand, like, hey folks, you guys might have a problem with this. This is what the film's going to look like. This is the colors. If you still want to purchase, feel free. But they should have shown a clip. This is what the film's going to look like. This is what the film's going to be. Feel free if you want to purchase it or not. I think some people feel like they were tricked or they were fooled or... Yeah, I'm not the best guy to review that. There are a lot of people who do a much better job, but look up the reviews, make your own decision, and so forth. But that's the big controversy, is the picture quality. I mean, the other stuff, the cover's there. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of this cover. Just like a hodgepodge of stuff. I mean, I've seen better covers. It's there. I prefer this cover, though. More simple, but more effective to me. I prefer this cover. Because the alternate cover, I guess, is the poster from overseas. Which, I don't know. I still prefer this cover on my DVD. And it does have an hour-long documentary. The Making of Dog Soldiers, featuring new interviews with Neil Marshall, producer Christopher Figg, actors Kevin McKidd, Sean Pertwee, Darren Morfitt, Emma Cleesby, special effects artist Bob Keane, special effects supervisor, creature designer Dave Bonnewell, production designer Simon Bowles, director of photography Sam McCurdy. It's an hour long. A little bit disappointing, just some info that's not put in there for... I knew that Jason Statham, I had heard in the grapevine. I think also the commentary with director Neil Marshall, you hear a little bit of that, so maybe that's why. But I was surprised in the documentary they don't mention that Jason Statham was going to star in this film. But then he had a commitment to John Carpenter's Ghost of Mars, which I think in that film he was thought of to be in the lead, but then that went to Ice Cube, so he's pushed in the background, and then he couldn't star in this, which sucks, because I would love to see Jason Statham in the lead role. And little stuff, I would like to have heard a little bit more from the actors. I mean, you get to hear from them. Nice fun story where when Kevin McKidd punched Sean Pertwee, actually grazed Sean Pertwee's nose, and blood flew out onto one of the effects guys. But for example, the guy who plays Spoon is in it. Would have been nice to hear his thoughts on the fight scene. Like, why not ask him about the fight scene that he got to do, which is a good high point in the film. But I don't know. It's weird. This is an hour-long documentary, but not too much. I don't know how you put it. It's good. I'm not going to say it's bad. It's good. But there's not tons of mind-blowing info that just seeps out of my brain and flow right into the viewer of this webcam. I liked it. I mean, I'm glad I saw it. It's an hour-long documentary. I kind of need to watch it again, which maybe that says enough, but it does have a short film he did, Combat, the director, still gallery of rare photos from production designer and the special effects artist. It does not have, from this DVD, it does not have the producer's commentary or the featurette, which I was surprised by. So keep your DVD if you do decide to get this, because again, this has the producer's commentary, while this has the director. I think that's from the DVD overseas. And then this has a featurette, which is not on the Blu-ray, which that's weird as well. But I might keep both just for collection, because I'm a big Dog Soldiers fan. I probably won't sell this. This is my favorite werewolf film, so I'll keep both. But if I said I wasn't disappointed, I can understand people being disappointed. But it is what it is. Again, the hour-long documentary I do like. I'm not going to say I love it, but I do like it. And it was interesting seeing the film in this sort of weird 70s exploitation grindhouse look to it, which was not their purpose, but that's what it ended up being. But I can see why people would complain that it looks washed out, the contrast, and it's hard to explain without showing pictures or showing video footage. But again, look up reviews, look up screen caps. It's very grainy. It's probably the grainiest release ever from a Screen Factory film. But, it is what it is. Make up your own mind is what I say. But if we get to the film itself, I love the film from Neil Marshall. He went on to direct The Descent, Doomsday Centurion, episodes of Game of Thrones, and I probably want to show this because I like this cover better. Again, I like this. This was always my favorite cover. I remember hearing about this way back in the day and seeing bits of the trailer and going, I'm really curious about this film, really interested. And got the DVD when it came out. Because, hey, you have a... I'm trying to remember where I saw it. I think it was advertised at one point on the Sci Fi Channel. It made me curious about it. And I might have seen parts of it. On the Sci Fi Channel. Could be wrong about that. And I was curious about it. I'm like, I want to see the whole thing. So I got the DVD and I saw the whole thing. And it is a low-budget film, but I think the low budget is used very effectively. I love the concept. Soldiers versus werewolves. Take the movie Aliens, or take the movie Assault on Precinct 13. Now add werewolves, and some really cool-looking werewolves. These are how werewolves should look like. I know the director hired dancers, so you get more of a movement and grace to it, which I thought was a great idea. The cast was excellent. Kevin McKidd, who is in Rome and Hannibal Rising. Sean Pertwee, who is in Soldier and Event Horizon. Liam Cunningham, who is in stuff like the Game of Thrones TV show. Everyone did a great job in the cast. I mean, you have Kevin McKidd, who's a soldier training for special forces. He gets caught. But Liam Cunningham, who's you find out is the asshole in the movie. He says, "Oh, you did really well, but there's one thing. That dog gave your permission, gave your position away. You should have shot it. Go shoot the dog." And Kevin McKidd, he's a guy who has morals. He's going, I'm not going to shoot that dog for no good reason. It's not about me not wanting to shoot a dog, but I'm not shooting this dog for no good reason. I mean, this is a training exercise. What the fuck? And Liam Cunningham shows how much of a dickwad he is. Shoots the dog. The guy, Kevin McKidd, gets pissed. Sucker punches the asshole for good reason. And then gets kicked out, put back to his old team, which is led by Sean Pertwee, who I thought did a great job. Has some fun lines and dialogue. Sausages. Which I'll get to. And you have a character named Spoon, who's pretty ready for a fight. You have another guy named Joe, who is concentrated on this football game, or as we call it, soccer game going on, just obsessed with it. You have another guy, I believe his name's Terry, who is, I don't want to say rookie, but he's sort of the guy who's the more nervous of the characters. And they're in a war game. You know, they have blanks just for training exercise. Or before that, I thought the director did some interesting stuff to make the audience think going this way and it goes this way. For example, you have this man and woman making out, and you hear it zipper, and you think he's unzipping her clothes, but in fact, it's the tent unzipping. And this film doesn't shy away with the blood splashing on the walls or splashing on the tent or splashing whatever. It's definitely an R-rated film, definitely a violent movie, which I appreciate. Because there's not too many good werewolf films as well. You know, I enjoy Silver Bullet. I enjoy the moments in Waxwork. You know, there's other werewolf films I enjoy, but this is definitely my favorite because it's an action movie, which I love, mixed in with a werewolf movie, which is very cool. You have cool-looking werewolves. You have the violence. You have plenty of gunfire. You have a quick pace. I never got bored. You have some fun senses of humor, some nice nods that are not too much in your face, but they're nice nods if you catch it. Like someone saying short control burst, which is from Aliens, or there's a character named Spoon, and when he's dead, there is no Spoon. You know, the Matrix. There's a moment that I think was from Jaws. Remember in Jaws when Roy Scheider almost got hit by a canister, where a character in this movie almost gets hit by a canister. So you have nice nods. I know the makers of the film wanted this to be their Evil Dead, you know, a low budget, just fun, entertaining horror film. And I thought they did a great job. Forget one of the reviews said it's Jaws, Aliens, and Predator with a werewolf twist. I don't really get the Jaws. I mean, that's another Jaws, but I don't get the other Jaws reference. But I get Aliens and Predator. It's Aliens and Predator with a werewolf twist, which, hey, I love seeing that. It's a simple enough premise, but it's a fun premise. I think they pulled it off very well for the low budget that they had. And Sean Pertwee is the commander of this unit in this war game. He's a lot of fun. Well, I expect nothing less than gratuitous violence. And you get a sense that they actually liked each other, that there's a good camaraderie between each other. Like Kevin McKidd's telling this story of the area and everyone going, ooh. But it's not an annoying fashion, it's in a likable fashion. You actually start to like these characters, which is a nice change of pace. And Sean Pertwee gives this great story. I mean, as the sergeant, he tells this great story about a guy he knew who had a tattoo of a laughing devil, and unfortunately an anti-tank mine killed him, blew him up, and they found bits and pieces, but they found that tattoo perfect. And it just, for him, goes to show to keep an open mind. Like, Sean Pertwee really sold that story. It's an interesting story as well. And like I said, the director thinks he's going one way, but then it goes another. So another guy's telling a story around a campfire, and out of the blue, boom, this dead animal just crushes into the campfire. And there's other moments like that. Later on, when they find this encampment, there's this blood and guts, and someone stepping on this guts, and just the sound effects, and just the gooey blood sticking to the foot of a guy. And a guy's going on the radio, and all of a sudden here's a guy popping up with a gun, as Liam Cunningham, the asshole in the movie. And there's little moments like that, which is nice. That it shows that the director is trying for something, trying to keep you off your toes, which is nice. And it goes at a fast enough pace. Some fun lines of dialogue, like when they gear up, Sean Pertwee saying, you know, so if Little Red Riding Hood should show up with a bazooka bad attitude, I spit you the chin the bitch. And they get knocked off one by one. One guy's running, he runs into this fuck off branch, and I like this moment, I didn't catch it the first time I saw it, where the guy looks up and you see in his eye, his iris, a reflection of a werewolf with a hand, and I didn't catch that. Seeing that werewolf in the reflection of the guy's eye. And a big swipe and just a big spurt of blood left off in the branch. You could tell that he just got knocked off right off that branch he was impaled in. And Sean Pertwee gets hit, and guts have fallen out, and Kevin McKidd goes in there to help out, gunfire, trying to put the guts. Oh, they'll fit. Oh, they won't fucking fit. Of course they'll fit. They're not gonna fucking fit. Of course they'll fit, Sarge. And it's funny. You get chases, you get gunfire. A woman passes by. They get in the vehicle. A werewolf arm goes through. They cut it with a knife. They get to a house, and then it becomes an Assault on Precinct 13 movie, except with werewolves. And instead of guards and prisoners, it's soldiers. I think it's a fun idea. It's a great premise, and it goes at a fast pace. And I love the look of the werewolves. I think this is some of the best looking werewolves out there in a movie. And I think the pace just keeps going. They fuck up the car's been fucked up, so they blow up the truck. They get him away. They're trying to fix Sean Pertwee up, fix him up, trying to get use this thing. I forget exactly what it is they use. Try to patch him up. Just always makes me laugh when Sean Pertwee looks down and goes, looking at his own guts and goes, sausages. It's, oh, I love you, man, but you hit me, and hits him once. Oh, you fucking pussy, hit me. And then knocks him out again. Because he wants to be knocked out, so not to feel the pain. So that, I mean, there's moments that made me laugh, and there's moments of great excitement. Like the big battle scene when it goes slow, where the door's handle's wiggling, and the spoon killer looks back, and you see a little bit behind him, like right here, that in the window of the door, there's a werewolf just looming in. So those nice little touches. And just a fun action scene. They're shooting, gunfire. They've heated up this water and splashing werewolves' faces. One gets caught, and there's a sword in the cabin. So they find the sword and they cut a werewolf's arm off. Just a lot of fun and excitement. Kevin McKidd goes up to save Sarge. You have that great moment in here where you see the werewolf coming through the window, great image, and Kevin McKidd is getting caught up and is trying to wake up Sarge. Like, Sarge, wake the fuck up! Kicking the werewolf in the head. Oh, fuck off! They both get guns shooting at the werewolf, shooting it out the window. Figure out what to do next. One of their friends gets killed. They have to try and figure out how to survive the night. Oh, there's a vehicle in the barn, so one's going to go there while Spoon is going to, hey, follow me, be a diversion. And some fun bits of humor where they're like, oh, we gotta have something fast and loud. And they all look at Spoon and he goes, you what? What? And he gets pit. And the guy who goes for the truck, he gets into the vehicle, starts it up, finds their buddy, gets his head bitten off by a damn werewolf, and even throws the head at the windshield. Guy bats up the car. You see a breath. I love that. Just a little where the guy's looking like this, and you just see the cold breath. And the guy just realizes, oh my god, you're behind me. And he'd either die a pussy or he dies a man, tries to fight, doesn't work. And this movie doesn't shy away from the guts and blood, because they open up the back of the vehicle and there's just blood just flowing like lava, just flowing like a cascade of blood onto the ground, and guts, and werewolves with blood over their mouths. And between it, they have little conversations, and I like the characters. And there are times where you feel bad when a character dies. Like, oh man, that person died, shit. Which is a good thing. And other plans, like the Liam Cunningham character, find out that he's turned to a vampire, werewolf, and they stab him with a sword and it fucks off. Maybe they're in the barn, they go to the barn, run the truck that doesn't have much left in it. Go back. Sarge comes in, throws a Molotov cocktail that bounces on the ground, burns it, blows up the barn, the vehicle, and in the barn. Realizing that the woman that was there, she's a werewolf as well. She turns, shoot her in the head, figure out what to do next. That's where Spoon gets that fun fight where he's fighting it hand to hand. Even kicks a tooth out of the werewolf using a frying pan. Has some nice lines of dialogue. I mean, great last line where he goes, "I hope I give you the shits for a week," or something like that. And you feel bad for that, though. Kevin McKidd stabs one with a piece of a sink. It's the faucet. So when it stabs in the head of the werewolf, blood's just running down the faucet part. That's a nice little touch there. Sean Pertwee, you realize that he's going to turn, but he's helping Kevin McKidd out. Kevin McKidd gets in the basement. They put out the gas, and Sean Pertwee hits the gas line, blows up the whole place. Nice insert shot of werewolf head blowing up. Kevin McKidd dealing with Liam Cunningham as a werewolf. The dog that is in the barn, who Kevin McKidd makes friends with, helps out. So it's like karma's a bitch for Liam Cunningham's character. He killed the dog in the beginning. A dog at the end helps kill him. Because the only reason you saw those two people at the beginning of the film get killed is there's a silver, I think, letter opener at the beginning of the film. And you find out that one of the victims was brought there, and Kevin McKidd finds that, stabs it in. Worst case is silver. Shoots, blows the back of the head off of the damn werewolf. So you have the satisfying for the action, gore crowd, but you also have likable characters, fast pace, and a fun premise, and some pretty humorous bits of dialogue. So all that just adds up. I know some people had a complaint about the action scenes being a little bit shaky, but yeah, a little bit shaky, but I understood everything that was going on. I was never confused. I don't think it was schizophrenic editing. I understood everything that was going on. I understood where everyone was. So I don't think it was that bad at all, to be honest. I think it's a satisfying film. I think it's a fun movie. I think it's a... For its low budget, it wasn't going to be Commando style of action, but it was still... always hits the spot when it comes to werewolf movies for me. I think the film still holds up. But whether you want to get the Blu-ray, that's up to you, because the Blu-ray, the picture quality is a very grindhouse, cigarette burns, lines, contrast, the light blown out, grainy. Some people say it's a gritty look to the film. Some of the blue filtering is not, that was in the DVD, is not in the Blu-ray. Apparently this is the way the film was supposed to look. That's up to you. That's, look up StreamGat. Yeah, if there's any video footage on YouTube, look that up. If there's any stream caps, look that up. Or reviews or forums, feel free to look that up as well, and then make up your own mind. But yeah, I can't say it's a pristine picture quality at all. And even then, the next time I watch the film, I don't know if I'll watch this Blu-ray or I'll watch this. But I mean, I'll keep it for the DVD. I mean, for the features, the hour-long documentary. But I don't know which one I prefer, to be honest. I mean, this one you definitely don't see as much grain and such, so maybe this. But it was interesting. But it's, I don't know, it's up to people out there. At the end of the day. But I can understand the controversy with the picture quality. This is not one of those, oh, what the fuck people talking about? So, the film itself I still love, though. I still really enjoy the film, still love the movie. And it's still my favorite werewolf film, hands down. If I can learn to talk straight. But yeah, I love the film to death. But that's Dog Soldiers from 2002. I know there was talks for a long time of a sequel, but it never got made. Maybe That's a good thing. Discern The Descent Part 2, which I know the director had nothing to do, but hey, it was a sequel to a Neil Marshall movie. Last time I saw it was Descent Part 2, and that was a entirely horrendous piece of shit, so maybe there's a good thing there's no sequel to this. Either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you later for the next review. Bye-bye.